To discuss why Islamabad has gone berserk, with us tonight from Karachi is Nehal Hashmi, Senator for the PMLN, former advisor to the Prime Minister on Justice and Human Rights. Moeed Pirzada is editor of Strategic Affairs of Dunya News. Faiz-ul-Hassan is with Colonel Shafqat Saeed. Both of them are from Islamabad, and Faiz-ul-Hassan is a central media advisor to the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. Shafqat Saeed, of course, a defense analyst. And Seshadri, Chari, convener of the Foreign Affairs Cell of the BJP. Maroof, Raza, consulting editor, Strategic Affairs from Delhi. Sushant, Sareen, senior fellow of the Vivekananda Foundation. And Saurabh, Shukla, editor-in-chief of newsmobile.in. Mr. Pirzada, Moeed Pirzada from Islamabad, on the 26th of April in 1984, Zia-ul-Haq issued the anti-Ahmadiyya ordinance, which effectively prohibited Ahmadis from preaching or professing their beliefs. Why would you not declare 26th of April as a black day?
Is this a question to me?
Yeah, it is only to you, yeah.
Pakistan should, I mean, technically,
you should declare.
100% right.
Yeah.
I would fully agree with you.
Yeah.
Being the secular person,
yes,
that Pakistan should actually, there might actually come a day when Pakistan should declare the
26th of April a black
the declaration of the Ahmadiyya as a Qadiani as a black day.
Shafqat Saeed, you agree with him?
Hasn't reached that level of political development.
Shafqat Saeed, this is actually fantastic, because a Pakistani panelist has agreed with me that your country has not reached the level of development, you know, to declare April 26th, which is the day when you started torturing and killing Ahmadiyyas with the anti-Ahmadiyya ordinance, as a black day. Do you agree with Moeed Pirzada from Islamabad, who says that April 26th should be declared a black day? Let's have a Pakistani panelist versus a Pakistani panelist for one, please. If I can please have Moeed Pirzada on one side. And Shafqat Saeed, you also know that what Zia-ul-Haq did with the Ahmadis. In fact, on September 7th, you amended your constitution in 1974 to declare that Ahmadis were not Muslims. So you have another option. You can also declare September 7th to be a black day. And why don't you also agree with Moeed Pirzada, who's a fellow Pakistani panelist, who says declare April 26th a black day?
Moeed Pirzada, apart being a fellow Pakistani, is my class fellow. And he must be remembering the discussions that we used to get into on different issues once we were very small boys in Mangla. And now coming to you, I think Ahmadiyya problem is nothing to do with India, and why should you
you have nothing to do with Kashmir.
Comment on that, whether
you have nothing to do with Kashmir.
What? I have nothing to do with Kashmir. Why not? Every Pakistani has
answer my question. You agree?
Every Pakistani has.
No, I have a second option, and I would like to ask Nehal Hashmi. I would like to ask Nehal Hashmi. In fact, today I want to give every Pakistani panelist the first opportunity.
Hold on, listen to me. Don't go away like that.
No. You agree with
Don't go away like that.
You agree with your fellow schoolmate who said that when you reach the level of development, you should consider, because you're extremely underdeveloped nation.
Development with me.
Do you agree with your fellow student?
Why you are in state of denial on Kashmir? Why you agreed to it? You took it to UN and you agreed to it. It is
your fellow student, fellow classmate
in your Shimla agreement. And now why you are in the state of denial? Why you are not accepting it as a?
In fact, I have a suggestion.
Why you are going away?
One second. You see, in 1963, on the 2nd of March, right? And Nehal Hashmi, the second option to you. 2nd of March can also be another black day for you, because on this day you illegally transferred large parts of Kashmir to China. That could also be a black day.
Arnab,
who are you to talk about the Kashmiris?
Uprising in which
who are you to talk about the Kashmiris?
You have killed 30 people and about 200 people have lost their eyesight.
Who are you to talk about the Kashmiris?
Your law enforcing agencies are using brute force.
I am logical today. You tell the people of Kashmir today why
BJP and PDP.
You listen to me, Mr. Nehal Hashmi. On the 2nd of March,
now you are trying to adopt
you gave away large parts of Kashmir to China.
Approach to this.
Was there a black day? Was there a black day, Mr. Hashmi?
No, why did you make that black day once 2,000 people were killed
we
and
are discussing
was responsible for it?
The brutality of the forces used against innocent kids.
No, you are
they lost their eyes.
No,
they lost their lives.
Mr. Hashmi,
the entire Kashmir is seized
Mr. Hashmi,
for last
Mr.
6
Hashmi.
days. If the India is a democratic country, they should adopt
okay,
and
Saurabh
follow
wants to say
the
so you are talking about
norms
human rights
and should respect the human rights violation.
So you are talking about
entire valley is stand. And what they are demanding, they are not terrorists. They
can
are
I tell you one thing, Mr. Hashmi?
Innocent women
Mr.
and
Hashmi,
children.
Mr. Hashmi,
Mr.
Hashmi,
can I
Mr. Hashmi, Saurabh Shukla is countering you. The debate is open. Maroof, Sushant, Seshadri, Chari, feel free to come in. Saurabh is jumping in. Saurabh.
Mr. Hashmi, you should realize that Kashmir as an insurance policy has left for you. Your people are rising.
Not at all. Kashmir
you check
is
the
a
social
disputed
media,
area
what are
declared
the young
by the United
Kashmiris
Nations.
saying?
And when Mr. Nehru went to United Nations and the Security Council has passed the resolution, since then Kashmir is an international disputed. It was never been an integral part of India.
You are illegally occupying
never. You occupy. That's why the people,
look
even
at the
the
social
innocent
media.
people,
See what is happening in
young kids and the
what is
women,
happening? You are
they are
scared.
also
Your insurance
brutally
policy on
hit and
Kashmir has
beaten
left.
and killed.
Admit it.
Where
Let
do
your
you
people
stand
decide
of,
what is
Mr.
happening.
Hashmi,
where the Gandhis in India?
Mr. Hashmi, let me explain to you. Mr. Hashmi, two factual points that I want to make to you. Saurabh, two factual points. Our Pakistani panelists will think why I started by talking about the kind of torture that the Ahmadiyyas have been subjected to in Pakistan. It is unspeakable today. It is unspeakable, and the reason why I'm saying so, the reason, Moeed, I began by asking you that question.
Against the innocent
Mr. Hashmi,
and the women's of the
Mr. Hashmi, the reason I began by asking that question is because, for your kind information, India is home to a larger number of Muslims, larger than those in Pakistan. We are also a safe home for a huge number of Ahmadiyyas, so we have every right to ask you about the rights of Ahmadiyyas. And since you are a human rights activist, I'll tell you, it is an irony, Mr. Hashmi, that Pakistan talks about human rights when 259 days ago, on the 29th of October 2015, you lost the elections to the Human Rights Council, where close to 88 member nations of the General Assembly said we don't consider Pakistan to be worthy member of this council. They threw you out.
No.
They said with your track record, you're not worthy to be a part of that council. That's a fact tonight.
Very fine.
I open up the debate now.
It is not a matter of who called.
I open up the debate now.
But now Today we are facing this crisis. The common people of this region is facing this problem.
I'd like Maroof to come.
You are hitting the innocent boys and kids. They are not terrorists. They are innocent young people and the women. What they are asking for? They are asking for their fundamental right, self-determination. What they are asking for. Okay. And if you are peace-loving country,
can you tell me? Let them decide.
Okay,
Maroof, Raza. Maroof, you obviously think that Syed Salahuddin. You obviously think that Syed Salahuddin is a tailor, not a terrorist. But Maroof will respond. Maroof, go on.
We are not discussing the occupied Kashmir, which is value of Srinagar.
Occupied, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Thank you. It is Saurabh.
No.
A Pakistani panelist has said that it is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Yes, it is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Yes, all Pakistanis must speak this language. Maroof is responding.
And honor the resolution passed by the United Nations. And who went to the United Nations? It was your Prime Minister, not me.
The land of Kashmir, which you are weeping for, has been sold to you by you to China for money. We will not give you 1 square centimeter of Kashmir at any cost. Understand that once and for all. Now Maroof is responding to you. Maroof is responding to you. Maroof, go ahead, Maroof. Maroof is responding to you. Go on, Maroof.
Sir, with respect, sir, mere ko 2 minute dijiye, please. First thing I want to ask the Pakistani panelists, since they always swear by the UN resolution, do you believe the UN resolution covers the entire erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir ruled by the Maharaja, with whom you had struck a standstill agreement between 15th August and 15th October 1947, 90-day standstill agreement? or do you think that the UN resolution only covers the valley of Kashmir? The second question to the Pakistani, sir, मैं 2-3 सवाल पूछूंगा, फिर आप मेरा जो भी आप जवाब देना चाहते दीजिएगा. Second question.
Faiz-ul Chohan will reply.
By various agencies from time to time. Sir, please let me ask the question. It has been shown by various agencies from time to time that there are a large number of Kashmiris who, sir, sun to lijiye, sir. There are large number of Kashmiris who are advocates of independence. Now, in your interpretation of things, what does independence mean? Joining the Union of Pakistan or becoming an independent entity? And as you keep harping on the plebiscite option, will you accept independence if the Kashmiris finally decide to go for it? Because aap to unke hamdard hain. You are all the time beating your chest and saying give them the right of self-determination. Is self-determination equivalent to joining Pakistan, or self-determination is the right to self-determine where you will be and where your future goes?
The Pakistani panelists are being unable to reply tonight.
Abuses. Did you give sugar-coated poison pills to the Baluchis and the people in Baltistan who you butchered systematically, or did they die of an act of God? Please answer these questions. Then you tell us about our human rights record.
No, 1 second. So the question is very interesting. Faiz-ul-Hassan Chohan. Question is very simple. If you insist on a plebiscite, let me completely, you see, Mr. Chohan, today is the time to shred your argument into pieces, and we are doing so factually. You know that in 1948, UN Security Resolution 47 on the Kashmir issue was adopted by the UN Commission on Kashmir with the consent and approval of the governments of India and Pakistan. The resolution provided for a UN-sponsored supervised plebiscite to decide the future political and constitutional status of the Jammu and Kashmir state. It clearly said that you have to first withdraw every single troop from Kashmir as mandated by the UN resolution. Am I correct, Maroof? Every single troop has to be withdrawn from Kashmir. Are you willing to do that? Or don't waste our time? Are you willing to do that?
Arnab, पहली बात तो ये है.
Are you willing to do that?
पहली बात तो
आप सुनिए ना मेरी बात, factually reply कीजिए. Yeah, go ahead.
हाँ.
जी.
पहली बात तो ये है कि आपने अंधे को अंधेरे में बड़ी दूर की सूजी के मज़दाक जो बात का आगाज़ ही जो है वो मोईद पिरज़ादा साहब के साथ आपने किया ना अहमदीज़ के हवाले से, कोई लेना देना ही नहीं बनता यार इस इशू का. इशू तो आज पूरी दुनिया के अंदर ये है कि इंडिया का एक भयानक चेहरा जो है
फैज़-उल-हसन आप क्यों बौखला गए? Why you worried?
और तशद्दुद की और
आप क्यों इतने टेंशन में आ गए?
मचाई हुई है.
आप टेंशन में क्यों आ गए?
दुनिया के सामने आपका जो सेकुलर चेहरा था, पूरी दुनिया के सामने आपकी सेकुलर जमहूरियत थी, वो बेनकाब हो गई.
आप बताइए मुझे.
मैं खराज तहसीन पेश करूंगा कश्मीरी मुजाहिदीन को कि जिन्होंने ओपनली ये कहा कि वो और ही होंगे कम हिम्मत जो जुल्म और तशद्दुद सह न सके, शमशीर और सलाह की धारों पे
ये मारूफ
सदाकत कह न सके.
सौरभ शुक्ला, मारूफ इज रिस्पोंडिंग टू यू.
आपके जनाब बुरहान
मारूफ इज रिस्पोंडिंग टू यू.
मां और बहनों और बेटियों को
मारूफ इज रिस्पोंडिंग टू यू.
इंडियन
20 अच्छा सुनो फजल चांद, लिसन फजल चांद, ये शेरो शायरी मत कीजिए मेरे प्रोग्राम पर. मेरे प्रोग्राम पर शेरो शायरी मत कीजिए. आपको मैं पूछ रहा हूं, अगर आपको पता नहीं है, अगर आप बिना पढ़े लिखे आ गए प्रोग्राम पर और आपको अगर समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, आपने अगर यूएन रेजोल्यूशन पढ़ा नहीं है तो कह दीजिए कि देखिए मुझे यूएन रेजोल्यूशन के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता है. फजल चांद, आप बोल दीजिए मुझे कुछ नहीं पता है. Reduce the volume little bit. Reduce the volume. You see now what is happening is, Mr. One second, Maroof, will it be better instead of making a spectacle of himself like this? Should Maroof, should this Mr. Chohan say that I have not read the UN resolution? Is it a better exit route for him? He wants an exit route. Viewers, this man from Pakistan, whose name is Faiz-ul-Hassan Chohan, has not read the UN resolution. Is it my problem? It is not. I feel he should just come out and say I have not read it. Maroof will take the debate forward with others who may know about it. Maroof, go ahead. Calm down. Thande dimag se. लंबी सांस लीजिए, ठंडी पानी पी
हो जाइए। तो चौहान साहब
चौहान जी टेंशन मत
थोड़े ठंडे से,
कीजिए। ठीक है चौहान जी, ठीक है चौहान,
थोड़े ठंडे हो जाइए।
ठीक है चौहान, आपने पढ़ा नहीं है यूएन रेजोल्यूशन में, समझ गया आपकी बात, मैं समझ गया आपकी बात। सारे जितने दर्शक है हमारे सब समझ चुके हैं। नहीं सब गो अहेड मारूफ, गो अहेड, ही इज इन अ प्रॉब्लम की भी बात सुन लीजिए। गो ऑन मारूफ, गो ऑन मारूफ, गो ऑन मारूफ, गो ऑन मारूफ।
Arnab, you know, let me tell you something.
बोलिए हिंदी में बोलिए।
बल्क ऑफ पाकिस्तान, सर मेरी बात सुनिए चौहान साहब, चौहान साहब
के ऊपर आप छुरियां
पाकिस्तान में शायद ही कोई शख्स होगा जिसने यूएन रेजोल्यूशन वाकई में पढ़ा है। और मैं एक आपको मिसाल देना चाहता हूं, अभी आप इंटरनेट में जाके देखिए, एक आपके पाकिस्तान के फुलब्राइट स्कॉलर साहब ने अमेरिका में एक सेमिनार के अंदर यह सवाल पूछा यूएन रेजोल्यूशन का, और क्रिस्टीन फेयर ने उनसे ये सवाल का जवाब दिया कि आपने यूएन रेजोल्यूशन पढ़ा है? कहता नहीं साहब, लेकिन मुझे पता है यूएन रेजोल्यूशन क्या है। कहता कश्मीरियों को जो है पाकिस्तान में आने देना चाहिए। अरे चौहान साहब, ये झूठ और ये प्रोपेगेंडा के ऊपर जो आप लोगों की परवरिश हुई है, इसको थोड़े समय के लिए छोड़िए एंड गेट रियल। असलियत का जो यूएन रेजोल्यूशन है उसमें तो आप लोग डिफॉल्टर हैं, और आप जो कहते हैं कि इंडिया इस मसले को यूएन में ले गया था,
कभी बाहर नहीं आया।
ये मसला इसलिए हम यूएन में ले गए थे क्योंकि हमें भरोसा था कि हमारा नेचर और हमारा पोजीशन इतना सॉलिड है कि ये रेजोल्यूशन भी हमारे ही हित में होगा, हमारे साथ होगा, और वाकई ये रेजोल्यूशन हमारे साथ है।
इंडिया के दिल में चोर है, इंडिया को पता है कि जब भी
सर आप एक बार बता दीजिए, आप मुझे एक बार बता दीजिए कि यूएन रेजोल्यूशन क्या कहता है।
इंडिया
चौहान साहब मेरे को ये बताइए, अरे चौहान साहब ये बताइए यूएन रेजोल्यूशन क्या कहता है।
खालिस्तान भी निकलेगा। और मैं
क्या बोलता है यूएन रेजोल्यूशन?
खालिस्तान के एक लीडर का बयान पढ़ रहा था, वो सब हरियाणा को चंडीगढ़
you answer what the UN resolution is.
वो करते हैं।
नहीं Saurabh, he's not answering. Yeah, Saurabh, go on. Saurabh, go on.
और हमारे को
It's very interesting, viewers. One second, viewers, can I just come on the screen myself for a while? Viewers, this is a very interesting point. We are at a very interesting point of the debate. I just want to say something. You see, this particular Pakistani panelist is in a trap. Can I just say something? Maroof, my sympathies are with this Pakistani panelist. Viewers, we are a very interesting part of this debate. No, Saurabh, we are in a very interesting part of the debate. You see, क्या हुआ है? The fact is, Saurabh, we have caught a Pakistani panelist red-handed, not knowing about the UN resolution. He does not know about the UN resolution. Saurabh, he does not know. Shafqat, do me a favor.
Brief from Rawalpindi hasn't given him that.
No, Shafqat, do me a favor. Why don't you ask Mr. Chohan whether he knows about the UN resolution? आपको तो सुन पाएंगे, आपके 2 फीट दूर बैठे हुए हैं, आप उनको पूछिए ना कोई सवाल यूएन रेजोल्यूशन पर। बताइए कब हुई थी?
मैं आपको बताता हूँ यूएन रेजोल्यूशन के ऊपर।
नहीं आप उनको बताइए ना, आप उनको बताइए ना,
बता दे।
नहीं आप उनको बताइए
साहब, आप भी बता दे रेजोल्यूशन क्या कहता है।
बताता हूँ ना, मारूफ साहब का रिकॉर्ड।
नहीं उनको पता नहीं है, चौहान को पता नहीं है।
बात करते हैं, आप बताइए रेजोल्यूशन क्या कहता है।
चौहान इज एक्सेप्टेड, इट डजंट नो।
समझा देता हूँ।
नहीं चौहान को पता नहीं है।
You don't know it.
Chohan knows.
Everybody in India
does Chohan know? Does Chohan
साहब आप ये बताइए कि यूएन रेजोल्यूशन जम्मू कश्मीर पे है कि वैली पे है?
जनाब पूरे कश्मीर पे है, जो 1949
आप बोलिए, what is your interpretation?
राजा के पास था जी, राजा के पास जो कश्मीर था, राजा
1949
अच्छा सौरभ शुक्ला
कश्मीर जो है, कश्मीर वो राजा साहब ने, कर्नल साहब Kashmir was handed over by the Raja to India on 26 October 47. First January 49 was the ceasefire agreement in Karachi. क्या बोल रहे हैं आप?
अपनी तरफ
You don't even have your facts right.
और रेजोल्यूशन का मतलब था जो टेररिस्ट आप भेज रहे हैं, आप अपने जो रेजोल्यूशन में खुद
First January 49 was the ceasefire agreement.
You please go and check your facts.
और यूएन रेजोल्यूशन जो है, यूएन रेजोल्यूशन की तारीख भी मैं आपको याद दिला दूं. You don't even know your facts. You should be ashamed to be on this debate. The UN resolution was of 13th August 1948.
You are in state of extreme denial.
अरे पढ़िए सर, जाके पढ़िए.
That is causing suffering to the whole subcontinent.
Please read, Colonel साहब. इतने सालों से कर्नल साहब
Shafqat Saeed, I have a question for you. Shafqat Saeed, I have a question for you. No, Maroof, I have a question for Shafqat Saeed. Shafqat Saeed के लिए मेरा सवाल है, and I want Seshadri Chari to come into the debate. Shafqat Saeed, can you tell us all, everybody is watching this program, very specific question for you. Can you tell me, Mr. Shafqat Saeed, this UN Security Council resolution, which chapter of the UN Charter was it passed under, and what is the unique feature of that chapter of the UN Charter? Please tell me. देखता हूँ कितना जानते हैं आप.
Arnab, you know, you are in such a state of denial.
Mister, I am asking you a question. You don't know.
The crux, the reason
you don't know. This is a very important point. Shafqat Saeed, listen. Mr. Saeed, listen.
And the brute force that is being used by your security forces.
No, Mr. Saeed.
And then you go and you think that you have embarrassed Pakistan.
No, I am not embarrassed.
Please talk on this.
I am asking.
Why you go to irrelevant questions?
Sushant Sareen.
Simple fact is that you have state of denial. Sushant Sareen. You can't stand bilateral.
It is a great opportunity. No, Sushant Sareen. Shafqat Saeed, don't get
using filibuster.
Yeah.
And that's his game. That's the whole Pakistani game.
Yeah.
But what I find really touching is when the Pakistanis start remembering Mahatma Gandhi's India, incidentally the same India from which they wanted to carve out a separate country and ensure their kind of supremacism in their country. Number one. Number two, when people like Mr. Chohan talk about human rights, it's very clear that they don't want to talk about the Ahmadis and they want to be extremely selective about human rights. They also don't want to talk about the kind of human rights violations which have been taking place. For example, in places like FATA, in the military operations, there have been reports in the Pakistani media that that some of the militants or alleged militants were caught, kept in helicopters, taken to a height of 3,000 feet and thrown from helicopters alive so that their screams could be heard.
Like
that is the kind of human rights violations which have taken place. Let me also tell you of dozens and dozens of videos which are there of summary executions being carried out by the Pakistani army officers, and none other than General Kiani promised an inquiry into those, and that inquiry never took off. Then they talk about disproportionate use of force. They are so shameless that they keep conquering their own country. They use fighter jets, they use helicopter gunships, they use artillery, they use tanks to conquer their own country, conquer their own people, and talk about disproportionate use of force in India.
And as for perpetrator of that genocide has become Prime Minister of the country.
I challenge these guys. I challenge this Shafqat Saeed to stand in front of me. I will just phone at him. Let me see if he calls me peaceful after that. So this is a whole lot of nonsense which comes from the Pakistani side, and I would encourage them to celebrate a black day. I would encourage them to celebrate every day as a black day, because in any case, every day in Pakistan is a black day, given the kind of human rights records they have, given the kind of political system they have, given the kind of civil military dysfunction they have. So this kind of nonsense has gone on for far too long, and I don't think
I want Seshadri Chari to come in. I want Seshadri Chari to come in. Mr. Chohan, Seshadri Chari ने अभी तक कुछ कहा नहीं है. उनको बोलने दे जनाब. उनको बोलने दे जनाब. उनको बोलने दे जनाब. नहीं, Maroof, I'm going to Seshadri Chari. Maroof, I'm going to Seshadri Chari. I think we must go to him because he has not spoken at all. And Faiz-ul Chohan, मैं आपको sincerely कह रहा हूँ, आपको रन डाउन करने के लिए नहीं कह रहा हूँ. मैं इस प्रोग्राम के बाद आप अपना ईमेल जनाब भेज दें. आपको मैं यूएन रेजोल्यूशन की कॉपी भेज दूंगा. आप प्लीज 2-3 घंटे या 2-3 दिन उसको पढ़िए, पढ़ लिख के अगले बार डिबेट में आइए. शेषाद्री चारी, आप ज्यादा बोलेंगे तो मैं फिर से यूएन रेजोल्यूशन पे सवाल पूछूंगा. आप ज्यादा बोलेंगे तो मैं फिर यूएन रेजोल्यूशन पे सवाल पूछूंगा. ठीक है, ये स्ट्रीट लैंग्वेज यूज करके फायदा नहीं है. ये स्ट्रीट लैंग्वेज मत यूज कीजिए. शेषाद्री चारी, आई थिंक पर्सनली अ मोर अप्रोप्रिएट डे फॉर अ ब्लैक डे, is a more appropriate day. Acha Fazul Chohan, now I'll stop you. I'll get someone else on the right hand side, please. Now my question is, in fact, I think you should make 14th August a black day because you failed your people ever since you came into independence.
Arnab, I think.
Yes, one second. Yeah. Seshadri Chari, please.
I think you will have to moderate this debate by reducing the voice of people like Mr. Chaudhary, who makes absolutely no sense.
Chohan.
The more I hear some of these Pakistani guests, the more I am convinced that Pakistan is not only economically bankrupt, it is ideologically also totally bankrupt. Therefore, there is no point in arguing about the Kashmir resolution, UN resolution and all these things. I am sorry to use these Hindi words for want of proper words in English.
No, unparliamentary.
There is a saying, "Bhais ke samne been bajana." That is exactly what you are doing with these people. They are not going to improve in any manner whatsoever. I think the only thing is they are on a course of destroying themselves. They are going down under their own contradictions. So let us wait for some time. Let us put our own house in order and not bother about these people. There is no point in asking anything from these Pakistani guests, anything from their government, anything from their army or their non-state actors.
I
repeat this. Talking to these Pakistani, some of these Pakistani guests about UN resolution is a waste of
इंडिया की मिसाल ये है कि बांदर के सामने.
No, one sec. I'm asking you, why are you so uncomfortable? Mr. Hashmi, please tell me. Mr. Hashmi, please tell me, and I want Saurabh to come in. Why are you so uncomfortable on a serious debate? Faiz-ul-ji, serious debate. No, Saurabh Shukla is debating with Nehal Hashmi. Saurabh Shukla with Nehal Hashmi. Saurabh Shukla, please go ahead. My point is, Saurabh, I don't understand why the Pakistanis are so uncomfortable. Yeah, okay, go on.
He's rattled, Arnab, because of, if you remember, because of the fact that the UN, Syed Akbaruddin made a stinging criticism of Pakistan's policy. They lost the UN Human Rights Council. The US Congressional Committee 2 days back has had a stinging criticism. Please go and read that, sir. You and your bosses should realize that you are taking your entire country, your young people for a ride by using this K word again and again. It's an insurance policy that has lapsed for you. It's not going to work. You mind your own house. Your country has become a supermarket of terrorism. It's become an epicenter. Your young people are today questioning you. मैं अब आपको हिंदी में बता दूं, अगर आप हिंदी में समझ में, उर्दू में समझ में आएगा.
झूठे लोग हैं आप, तो इज्तिमाई तौर पे भी झूठे हैं.
आप देखिए, हिंदुस्तान जो है वो हमेशा जो कर रहा है वो अपने बल पे कर रहा है, वो कर रहा है. आप अपना कश्मीर को अपने जो आपने ऑक्यूपाई किया है उसको संभालिए.
उसकी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस याद है आपको जनवरी 2014 में? उन्होंने कहा था कि ये जितने बम धमाके
बिल्कुल याद है आपको अपने मुशर्रफ की याद है.
ये सब आपकी अपनी वेंचर है, आपकी अपनी करतूतें हैं. और बीजेपी और
ये जो आप फिक्शन है ये भूल जाइए. पूरे वर्ल्ड ने कहा है 11 आप लोगों ने किया. हर टेररिस्ट अटैक में पाकिस्तानी कनेक्शन क्यों होता है?
पाकिस्तान
व्हाई इज दैट एवरी टेररिस्ट अटैक इन द वर्ल्ड हैज अ पाकिस्तानी कनेक्शन?
लेकिन आपके इंडिया
यू हैव टू गो एंड इंट्रोस्पेक्ट. अर्नब, यू शोन देम अ मिरर. They are rattled today because they've been shown a mirror.
Maroof can tell you a little bit. Maroof can tell you a little bit about what you did in Bangladesh. Maroof, I think it is time to educate Shafqat, Saeed and Mr. Chohan about what they did in Bangladesh. Maybe, am I mistaken? Was General no, 1 second. Was General Tikka Khan? What did General Tikka Khan do? Maroof will tell you about it on your own human rights record, please. I think Maroof will say something to Fazul. Let me remind. Comedy show nahi hai. 1 second.
Sir, मेरी बात सुन लीजिए. Let me Let me quote from the Hamidur Rahman Commission report, जो आप ही लोगों ने बनवाई थी, and your own eminent journalist Hamid Mir is on record to say Pakistan's blackest day is 16 December 71 after the सुनिए सर, बात सुन लीजिए, थोड़ी शराफत तो दिखा दीजिए कि दूसरों को भी बोलने दीजिए। आप जो है बिल्कुल मच्छी बाजार की तरह चिल्लाए जा रहे हैं, थोड़ी दूसरों को भी बात करने दीजिए। पहली बात यह है कि आप बांग्लादेश कभी अगर गए, अगर लड़ाई के बाद और सरेंडर के बाद अगर आप कभी ढाका गए तो ढाका क्लब के सीढ़ियों पे चढ़ के देखिए, आप लोग के पूरे ह्यूमन राइट्स अब्यूजेस और जेनोसाइड के पिक्चर लगाए हुए, क्योंकि बांग्लादेशियों ने कसम खाई है कि कभी आप लोगों को वापस वहां कदम नहीं रखने देंगे। ये आपका उनके साथ रिश्ता था। और मैं आपको और याद दिलाऊं कि आपके जनरल याहिया खान ने आपके टिक्का खान और बाकी जनरलों को बोला था कि आप 3 मिलियन बांग्लादेशी को मार दीजिए और बात समझ जाएगी। और आपने जितने लोगों को वहां मारा है, हिटलर से ज्यादा लोगों को आपने मारा है, और आपने मुसलमान होते हुए मुसलमानों को मारा है। आप कहां से हमदर्दी दिखाएंगे? आप कश्मीरियों का क्या हाल कर रहे हैं, जो आपके सो कॉल्ड कश्मीरी जिनको मैं मीरपुरी बुलाता हूं, उनका क्या हाल कर रखा है?
Seshadri, Chari and Nehal
पाकिस्तान में क्या हाल कर रखा है?
Seshadri, Chari,
बलूचिस्तान में क्या हाल कर रखा है?
Seshadri, Chari and Nehal Hashmi.
आपके पास
Seshadri, Chari and Nehal Hashmi. No,
सिर्फ पंजाबियों के लिए टाइम है।
Seshadri, Chari and Nehal Hashmi, please on the screen. I have 5 minutes left on the debate. 5 minutes left on the debate, and I want to ask a question to Seshadri, Chari and Nehal Hashmi, please. Seshadri, Chari, please tell me, and Nehal Hashmi, understand this point. Why is Pakistan so uncomfortable, Mr. Chari, with us taking a zero policy, zero tolerance policy on terrorism? Why are they so uncomfortable about it, Mr. Chari? And Mr. Hashmi, please respond after that. Go on.
Absolutely, because
मेरे ख्याल से समय आ गया है कि हम बहुत सारे विषय में और विषय में विचार करते रहे।
पाकिस्तान,
हमें विचार करना चाहिए उन बालकों को, बालिकाओं को, उन महिलाओं को। आप जरा अरुंधति राय की, आपके देश की एक बड़ी जानी मानी लेखक हैं और वो ह्यूमन राइट एक्टिविस्ट भी हैं।
वो तो
अरुंधति राय ने लिखा है।
I think
let's say about her the better.
आज की स्थिति में, आज की परिस्थिति में बात कर रहे हैं, जो महिला पे अत्याचार हुआ है, ये उनकी बात करें, जो वैली में महिला और बालक बालिका और निहत्थे। अगर आप लोकतंत्र की बात करते हैं, तो लोकतंत्र और राजनीति में लोगों को ये अधिकार दिया जाता है कि
Mr. Hashmi, my question to you is this. Mr. Hashmi,
इधर उधर नहीं जाना चाहते।
Mr. Hashmi,
आज की स्थिति में बात
Mr. Hashmi, listen, Mr. Hashmi. I think you should debate reasonably. I think you should debate reasonably. Nobody takes fiction writers seriously on serious issues. Now, Mr. Hashmi, I'm asking the question to Seshadri, Chari, and my question was a very serious question. I wanted answered seriously. Why does Pakistan have a serious problem with our zero tolerance policy on terrorism? I think this is a great policy. I think we should go all out on it. We should be unsparing about it.
Pakistan does not have any problem.
Mr. Chari is asking, listen to Mr. Chari and then you can respond. Mr. Chari, please. Mr. Chari, please. Now, Mr. Chari. Mr. Shadri, Seshadri, Chari, please. Let him speak. Yeah. Mr. Chari, please. Mr. Chari.
Arnab, I don't want to be impolite.
Mr. Chari, go on.
I don't want to be impolite.
Mr. Chari, go on.
I don't want to be impolite to your guest.
Go on, Mr. Chari.
But if you don't mute this man,
Mr. Chari, please continue. Mr. Hashmi, please.
If you don't mute this man, I am sorry to say, I am sorry. Arnab, I am sorry. For God's sake, don't get such motor mouths on your program again. And if you are happy getting these people,
continue,
please
sir.
Stop calling me on your program.
Continue, Mr. Chari.
Let us be serious about these issues. We are not talking about art and culture. We are talking about serious matters of running governments. We are talking about serious matters of terrorism.
We are talking about a very serious
on the face of what has happened in France today.
A great
Mr. Chari, continue.
What has happened in France today, you should be seriously concerned.
So let's sit together.
Remember one thing.
Both the governments sit together.
Remember one thing. In the whole world, Pakistan has emerged as the single largest provider of terrorism for the whole world. The whole world is concerned about what is happening there in Pakistan. It is a serious matter, and these Pakistani guests should realize that they are endangering the entire humanity of this world. Are they realizing the fact? Or they are just coming to here joke about all these things? What nonsense are you talking? Our Prime Minister has categorically said that we are prepared to deal with the elected government of Pakistan as a one-to-one government. But if you wag your tail and if you bring in the terrorist element, we will destroy these terror attacks that you are emanating from your country. And if you want another misadventure from your army, we are prepared to face the misadventure of your army and destroy. Remember, the more you act like this, there will be another 1971 in Pakistan. Baluchistan will not be part of you. Sindh will not be part of you. You will be dismembered and destroyed.
Please, Mr. Fazlur, don't interrupt now. Don't interrupt him. He's speaking the point. Let him continue. Don't speak out of turn, Mr. Chohan. Don't speak out of turn. Do not speak out of turn when Seshadri Chari is speaking.
You are going to face...
Do not speak out of turn when Seshadri Chari is speaking. My fundamental issue tonight. Fundamental issue tonight. And Saurabh and Sushant Sareen. I gave the Pakistani panelists the full chance to speak right on top of the program this evening. And I don't want to speak to someone who does not even know what the UN Security Council resolution is all about. But my question, Sushant Sareen, is very simple out here. And Saurabh, I want to come to you. Saurabh, I'm going to Saurabh. The Pakistani panelists don't speak out of turn tonight. Why are they so uncomfortable with a zero tolerance approach to terrorism? Saurabh, please, on the screen. Saurabh, only Saurabh.
They cannot face the truth because you have shown them the mirror. They are the ones who are perpetrators of terrorism across the globe. They are the ones who are doing human rights violation in Baluchistan, in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Look at the social media, look at their young people. They are frustrated. That's the reason why they're trying to foment trouble in Kashmir. These guys who are there as panelists get their handouts from Rawalpindi and they come on your show. They have no inkling of what's happening in the world.
Hashmi,
the world has to unite against Pakistani sponsored
Mr. Hashmi, have you heard?
That is what is rattled them.
No, what's it? Mr. Hashmi, have you heard of a newspaper called The Dawn? Mr. Hashmi, have you heard of a newspaper called The Dawn? My question to you is simple. Mr. Nehal Hashmi and Nehal Hashmi and Sushant Sareen. Nehal Hashmi and Sushant Sareen. Mr. Hashmi, my question to you is this. Have you, sir, heard of a newspaper called The Dawn that operates from Pakistan? Just simple question. Please answer yes or no.
Yeah.
Then only I'll proceed. Okay. You know, The Dawn, which is your own very prominent newspaper, has reported that 800 bodies were found in Baluchistan in a period of 3 years. In Quetta, Khuzdar, Magran belt. Pakistani newspaper. What right do you have to speak about human rights when this is what is being reported by your media about what you're doing to the Baluchis? The USA State Department said multiple human rights violations ranging from extrajudicial killings to the lack of fair trial alongside violation of freedom of speech and movement in your 2014 report. You say you are a human rights advisor to the former Prime Minister. Your own apex court, your media, your court said, and Seshadri Chari will say that I'm correct on this because it is the fact. Your court said that there is absence of fundamental rights to the people in the northern parts of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. I'm not talking about Amnesty International. I'm talking about your court, your media. Seshadri Chari, is it not time for Pakistan to look within? Seshadri Chari, please. Seshadri Chari.
Let me answer.
Arnab, what is the case? What is the case against the former president of Pakistan?
It is true that it has been reported.
What is the case? What is the case against former president and army chief of Pakistan, Pervez Musharraf?
Earthquake. These bodies are of the earthquake. It's not of any other state.
Earthquake,
yeah. Obviously, there was severe earthquake in the part of Balochistan, and
Nonsense.
this body is
Rubbish.
from that earthquake.
It is-
Seshadri Chari is countering you.
Pakistani
Earthquake.
army
You
which has
torture and kill
perpetrated
people,
this
throw their
killings.
bodies, try to bury them. They are found by human rights
Sorry,
organizations.
this is
Reported
not-
in the
this is
media, and you
not
say they are
factual.
earthquake
To
victims.
Balochistan to Sindh.
Seshadri
This
Chari,
body is
Mr. Chari,
reported
Mr. Chari,
widely,
Mr. Chari,
even in
please. Mr.
Pakistani
Chari.
press.
Mr. Chari, please.
That is true story.
Mr. Chari
But
saying
this is
something.
because
Mr.
of the
Hashmi.
earthquake.
Sorry.
Mr. Hashmi, here, Mr. Chari.
Sorry, those areas were not affected by earthquake in the first place. And in the second place, it is the Pakistani press which has reported that it was the Pakistani army which has conducted this kind of terror attacks on their own people,
That's right.
killing their own Baluchi brothers because they demanded freedom. And Baluchis have demanded freedom from Pakistan, not today, but even in 1947,
Absolutely.
Baluchis did not want to join Pakistan, they wanted to be part and parcel of India. If you do not know this, please read about what Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan said. And please remind yourself, what is the case against Pervez Musharraf, former army chief, former president?
I'm glad today.
The case against him is,
I'm glad
is
today.
the killing of Bukti.
Lot of, if you go to
but the-
Manipur,
Yeah.
if you go to anywhere, there are a lot
Yeah.
of.
Please talk about that.
I think the substantial takeaway,
there
the
was no
substantial
movement in
takeaway,
Balochistan.
Sushant, Sareen and Saurabh.
Still as today,
I think the
because
most
there is an
substantial
independent and very
takeaway,
liberal government
the
is
most
there,
substantial
and free
takeaway from today's
every
discussion has
control of
been
Islamabad.
when
Sardar
Moeed
Sanaullah
Pirzada-
is conducting very wonderful.
Mr. Hashmi, the most substantial takeaway of today's debate has been when Moeed Pirzada from Islamabad, a senior Pakistani panelist, said that the 26th of April, the day Ziaul Haq issued the anti-Ahmadiyya ordinance, should be declared a black day by Pakistan. That is the most substantial takeaway, I think, as far as I'm concerned, as far as our viewers are
I have
concerned.
no right to reply on behalf of Mr. Pirzada, but Mr. Pirzada is not the true representative of Pakistani people.
Right,
he
sure.
might be one of a segment of a media.
Well, Saurabh
but
has something
he's
to say
not
to you.
the true. He
Saurabh and
does not
Sushant
carry the
Sareen.
sentiment
Saurabh
of
and Sushant
entire
Sareen, and then we are closing the debate for want of time.
You know, he's rattled.
Saurabh.
Arnab, he's rattled. As I said earlier, they are frustrated because of the pressure that is mounting on them. The US Congress has come out very
Pressure
strongly
is not
against
on
them.
us,
The
brother.
Congressional
Pressure is on
Committee
you.
asking that Pakistan be
40
put as a state
bodies
sponsor of terrorism.
are asking
They are
the international
rattled.
community
They have
to
realized that they have
empty-handed
done
innocent
messed up their country. They are epicenter supermarket of terrorism. That's the reason why he has to obfuscate the issue. They are fomenting trouble everywhere. Every terror attack has a Pakistani connection. You have shown the mirror to them. That's the reason he's rattled. Obviously, he's not going to have a good night's sleep because his track record, his bosses who have given him the briefing are not going to take him to task.
Support the peace process.
I'd like to, Mr. Hashmi,
we are inviting
Mr. Hashmi, listen.
Arnab, I'll tell you what the takeaway of today is.
Sushant Sareen on his takeaway. Sushant Sareen.
I'll tell you what the takeaway of today is. The takeaway of today is the kind of differentiation which the Pakistanis make on human rights, that when they massacre Ahmadis, when they do discrimination against all sorts of religious minorities, especially the Ahmadis, it's not a human rights violation, but anything somebody else does is a human rights violation. So obviously they clearly don't believe in the universality of human rights, and they have a very Islamo-fascist viewpoint of the world. That is takeaway number one. I think the takeaway number two is the sheer ignorance of all Pakistani participants on the UN resolutions which they keep parroting
I'll send
ad
Mr.
nauseum,
Chohan a copy.
without having read the resolutions, which is part of the Pakistani social political milieu. The third takeaway is that I don't think the kind of resolutions which the Pakistani cabinet has passed should be taken very seriously. It is partly, all the Pakistanis love going on junkets, and this kind of a resolution will allow a whole lot of these characters to go on junkets, including the person who prances around as a defense minister but cannot even attend the general headquarters of Pakistan, and who's treated like a peon by the Pakistan army. So that is, to my mind, the third takeaway. And the fourth takeaway is, of course, the sheer denial in which the Pakistanis live on what is human rights violation. I don't think they even understand what human rights are all about. Given the kind of disproportionate force that the Pakistan army has used
closing
to
the debate,
country,
closing the debate,
number two,
and I will,
given the fact that they use death squads to kill their own people, and number three, given the fact that people have been brought to court with severe signs of torture,
Mr.
the
Chohan,
courts have passed indictment on the security forces, and yet no action has been taken, actually exposes
Mr.
the Pakistani claims
Mr.
towards
Chohan,
human
you are
rights.
in Islamabad.
It is all a hogwash.
I will send to the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf office.
I have to mention.
Yes, Mr. Chari.
He can't
Mr.
read
Chari,
English.
Mr. Chari, yes, Mr. Chari, yes, Mr. Chari.
He can't read English, he can't understand
Mr. Chari, Mr. Chari, Mr. Chari.
If you have a Urdu translation, send it to him. If he
Mr. Chari, Mr. Chari, please, only Mr. Chari.
No, at this rate, they will have to observe all the 365 days as Black Day.
क्या आप इंडिया के अंदर पारसियों को इंसान समझते हैं?
Oh, please, Mr.
क्या आप इंडिया के अंदर
all 365 days are in any case a black day in Pakistan? There is no electricity.
I'll only say one thing, Seshadri Chari, I think what I'm going,
black days.
I think what I'll simply do is that I will send a copy, Mr. Chohan, I will send you a copy of the UN Security Council resolution, and you please read it, and please come prepared the next time on the debate. Everyone's got a takeaway, but I don't have time. I thank you all for joining me on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.